Hello and welcome to the Game Shed with me, Jamie. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make one of these for about £30. Okay guys, so here we are. I've changed camera angles so you can get a better look at the bits and pieces you're going to need to get yourself one of these for about £30 or so. And I'm going to show you every single bit. This is probably not going to be a short video because there are a lot of different bits and pieces, but it's going to be very straightforward for you to follow. I went on eBay and the AGS-101s, like this is, as I said, my own modded version, but if you want an original pink or black version, etc., you're going to be paying, at the moment I've seen ones for £116, £175, 109, 117, 99. The cheapest one I saw was £84.45. So I took all of those. I looked at 9 different ones of varying degrees of quality. I then worked an average cost out, and the average cost came to £111.05. Now, what I'm going to show you today is how to get the exact same thing, although it's not going to be an original Game Boy Advance SP, but it will work as well, and I will show you this for £28.83, which is the equivalent of $37.88 US or 34 euros. Your key components for one of these, the first thing you're going to need to do is jump onto a Chinese website called ALIEXPRESS, ALIEXPRESS, and you're going to need one of these. This is called a gamebox. Alright, the game, you can search for it by looking for gamebox GB Advance SP 3-inch LCD handheld console with free 453-in-1 game cartridge. Okay, this I was very skeptical about when I ordered it. Alright, this with our little friend DK on it. Okay, you can see here it says Game Boy Advance. It's got some Russian on it, I believe that's Russian, 32-bit. It's absolutely heaving at the sides. There's Diddy, some more Russian. Any Russians watching this? Let me know what that says. And there's what's her name, Dixie, I think. You're gonna need one of them. That will set you back. Are you ready? This will set you back £21.48. This is where the bulk of your spend is going to be. £21.48. Okay, and that was shipped to me here in London for free. Okay, free. I paid no tax on this at all. This came to me free. I don't know how much tax is going to be for your country, but this came to me here in London for free. Okay, you're going to need one of them, and I'll show you this working in a second. Then you're going to want to pimp this bad boy up, because if you can have a look here, there's no GBA branding, but I'm going to show you how to get around all that. One of them. You are also going to need a housing of your choice. Now, here's the one I ordered. Let's take a closer look. What is this housing? Oh my gosh. It is a metallic purple Donkey Kong white matte casing. Look at that, you can see it shining there in the light. You'll see the Nintendo badge is missing. If we have a look at my previous mod, you can see there's a Nintendo badge. Okay, so this is going to go in here. Okay, this inside this comes with all the screws, the hinges, and the little Nintendo sticker right there. This also comes with the battery housing that says Game Boy on it, and if we flip this over, see there, a sticker. This came with that sticker. That isn't going to be enough, because if we open up the game box, and I will show you what you're going to get in here, you're going to need something quite substantial in order to make the experience a genuine one. There you go, look, game box. We don't like that, and we don't like this bezel round here that says game box. No, no, no. What we're going to do, we're going to jump onto eBay and we're going to pick up the next thing. So let me give you, this as well was purchased on AliExpress. This came to, with delivery, which was free, this came to £4.90. Now, you don't have to sign up on AliExpress. You can get this, and you can get this on eBay UK, okay, or US, or wherever you want to buy it from. So this on eBay UK, so someone has shipped this in themselves and are selling it. This on eBay UK is £39.99, okay. I got this for £21.48. This on eBay UK is £8.37. I purchased it from China for £4.90. Okay, do some homework, go out there, get it yourself. You can get it a bloody lot cheaper. Okay, anyway, that said, how do we get rid of Gamebox? Well, you jump on eBay UK. There's no need to go to China for this one. All you do, you spend £2.45, free delivery, and you get the bezel. There you go. Game Boy Advance SP. Now there is one problem with this, and I don't know if this is just unique to this seller that I purchased this from, but the SP, if I just turn this off and we compare side by side, the lettering for the S and the P is actually incorrect, but you're not going to notice that on the final finished product. Let's compare this with this. Is this any good, first of all? Could you just purchase this and use this as a Game Boy Advance SP on its own without doing anything at all? Yes, you could. Here it is, okay? I've got a second copy of Zelda Minish Cap. Okay, I've got one in here and I've got one in here. Look at that. Very, very bright screen indeed. And a very loud speaker. There you go. And does it work? Push the start button. Yes, it does. And there we go. Look, there's my save game on the actual cartridge. Looks good, huh? Looks good, huh? But what you're asking is, how does it look in comparison to an actual AGS-101? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run a little test on it. I'm going to turn both of their volumes up to maximum, and we're going to turn them on at the very same time, and you can see just how quick each one is. That was there on the left, faster. That one about a second behind. Okay, we can only hear this one because it is so loud. This has a better speaker than this. All right, the volume is up full on this. There we go, you can see, but we could only hear this one. That is because that speaker is so much louder. You can also see there is a difference in the two screens, okay? This one is actually brighter than this one, but it also looks a bit washed out. So if I bring the two screens up, I'm gonna turn the volume down before it does its loop. Let's bring the screens up to the camera. Now, there is a tiny bit of aspect ratio difference, a very tiny amount. You can see the Z there, or the Z if you prefer, is a little bit elongated. It's tiny, it's negligible. You are not going to notice that. The inner workings of the Game Boy SP, the boot up speed is a lot quicker. Oh, I say a lot, it's about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds quicker. Oh, here we go, bit of a speed run. So it seems to have caught up a little bit. I didn't turn that one down. So the buttons are exactly the same, okay? The housing is near enough exactly the same, but as I said, this is a modded SP that I did myself. So it's original Game Boy Advance SP innards, and just the housing is separate. Apart from that, there is literally no difference at all. And when you purchase this, not only do you get the Game Boy Advance SP, but you get an international, that looks to be, where is that? Is that European? Plug for it, charger, mains charger. You also get another thing bundled in with this, but I seem to have slung it somewhere. And that is it comes with a USB charger as well. Okay, so this on one end and a USB adapter on the other end, so you could just plug this into the mains to charge it. Some paper, a plastic bag, and most importantly for some of you out there, although it's advertised that you get a 453-in-1 game cartridge, you actually get this. This contains a variety of Game Boy Advance SP or Game Boy Advance games and NES games. Okay, there are not 999 individual games, there are repeats of games. At a guess, and this is just a guess, I'd say there were about 200 games tops on that cartridge. However, that's not bad. I didn't get this for that. I got this just for this, for modding purposes. You do need one more thing, or three more things, which hopefully, if you're contemplating this mod, you will have considered already or have in your stash of tools. You are going to need some screwdrivers. The first of which, this is a tri-wing screwdriver. Okay, this is the Nintendo patented screw of choice. This here, Game Boy Advance SP, has the original Nintendo screws in it. It requires this screwdriver. This case, however, and all the bits and pieces they sent me, they've just sent Phillips head screws. So the second thing you're going to need is a mini Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, it's 2 screwdrivers, and just in case you might need a flathead screwdriver. So what do we need to do this mod? We need a blank case, we need the game box, crazy machine, we need some screwdrivers, and for added authenticity, remember to get yourself a Game Boy Advance screen bezel, and that is it. So we have a video on our channel that the lovely Mark actually made, and I'm going to go away and follow his tutorial, take this apart, and then I'm going to put the innards into here, and we are going to have a lovely modded GBA SP with a 101 backlit screen. So there you have it. That is my complete mod to make this little bad boy out of one of these dodgy little things. And overall, I am rather pleased with the end results. Yes, it's not perfect, so I'm going to go through some of my pros and cons with making this little fake AGS-101. So first of all, we'll start with the case itself. The case, I think, is beautiful. It's as good as any case you can go out and buy, such as this one, which I absolutely love. It's the first thing which you can see, which I just showed you in that video there, is it's not exactly flush. They're not, if we can just zoom in there, it's not exactly, you can see a tiny little gap there. Now that could be for a number of reasons. You can see this one is, okay, this one is perfect. In fact, this one's better than the unmodded AGS-101. That could be to do with the screws that I've used. This could be due to my actual mod itself, just went a little bit wrong, I'm not sure. It could be to do with the motherboard of the game box itself. I don't know, maybe you'll have more luck than me. I can't now be bothered to open it up and go through it again. I think I've done a good enough job. It is fiddly. It does have two tricky bits to it. Number one is the grommets in the side here, these circular bits, just there. They are a pain in the arse to get in, so watch Mark's video. There is a certain way they can go in, and I forgot this when I was putting them in, so it took me a bit longer than was necessary. And the second and most tricky part is the ribbon cable from the screen itself to detach that from the motherboard and then to reinsert it into the motherboard. Now, the game box has a slightly different hinge mechanic to the AGS-101. In the AGS-101, you flip up either side of the bracket itself to release the mechanism, and then you push back down these two little clips. Whereas on this one, and it took me a little while to work it out, you just have a sliding mechanic, so you pop the whole bracket forward and that releases the ribbon cable. It did take me a while to work it out, but when I got there in the end, thought I'd done it, put it all together, it was all working, turned it on, game was working just like this, sound was in there, and then I just closed the lid to about there with it still on, and it started to glitch out, and it became evident that the ribbon cable wasn't actually in, so I had to disassemble it and ensure it was firmly in there. So do not let the sped up footage of me making this mod or doing this mod fool you. It was actually done over the course of 4 days. It's been so hot in London, it's been 30 degrees for about a week now, that it took me a lot longer than it should have done. Now, this will take you about 1 to 2 hours in one sitting, as long as you do everything methodically. Place your screws where in little groups, so you know what screws go where. When you disassemble your old AGS-101, and so you can take them and put them into your new mod. Now, what else was a bit crap? Okay, so the screen, the aspect ratio, the y-axis is a little bit longer by a few millimeters, and the x-axis a tiny bit shorter. So I had to take a black Sharpie and just stripe just a couple of millimeters either side of the screen where there was just some white space, so you couldn't see it here. Now you can just see the tiniest bit at the bottom is cut off there of the screen. That's because the y-axis is actually longer than it should be for this this bezel, this Game Boy Advance bezel that we purchased. So you do get a couple of lines of pixels cut off, which is annoying. Yes, but it's not a game breaker at all. So apart from that, really, I mean, this has got a louder speaker. The game box is a much louder speaker than the AGS-101. It's a really fun project. This screen here has 5 levels of brightness when you press this button here, whereas the AGS-101 has 2, which is either bright or dim. And this is a very cheap way to get yourself an AGS-101. Yes, it's not official, but it is a very cheap way. So I mean, I think I worked out the average price on eBay for an official AGS-101 is actually £111, whereas you can build this for about £30. A massive saving. And in all honesty, I really love this. I mean, look at that. Another little downside, the Nintendo sticker that was bundled with this case, it was a tiny little bit creased. So if I want a perfect looking outer case, I'm gonna have to repurchase one of these stickers here from somewhere, or just not bother with it at all. That's about it really. Oh no, there is one major downside of this before I let you go. It will not play original Game Boy games. The AGS-101 will. And you just pop that in there, turn it on, and you can see Game Boy. Look at that, right? However, when you pop it into the game box, pop this in, turn it on, you just get the load screen. Also, additionally, that is another downside. This load screen, where you don't get the official Nintendo load screens, that's another downside. But an absolutely wonderful project, a huge money saving exercise. Could be excellent for a gift for someone, or for yourself. If you want a backlit Game Boy SP, I definitely recommend it. I prefer it to my official AGS-101, the non-backlit Game Boy Advance SP. I don't prefer it to the innards from the official AGS-101. I do not prefer it to this. This is my favourite, this is my second favourite, and this is my third favourite. So that's about it. Look, if you've got any questions on this mod, or where to get the bits and pieces, or how to do whatever, do drop a comment down below. Remember to hammer the thumbs up button, guys. It would mean the world to me. But there you have it. If you'd like to see us do any more mods at all, or review any products such as this, do let us know in the description down below. So thanks for watching, guys, and until the next time, I'll see you later.